What if I told you that a family was saved, not by policemen or pastors, but by frogs? They trusted their tenants until strange things began happening at 3 a.m. every day. This is the story of how diabolical a tenant attacked his hosts and how frogs swallowed his spirits alive. My people, when God fights for you, even frogs become warriors. What God cannot do does not exist. The story begins. The frogs versus evil tenants. In a peaceful neighborhood lived a young wealthy family known as Mr. Sheun, his prayer wife Judith, and their only child. Their home was filled with joy, success, and favor. Neighbors admired them, friends praised them, and life was sweet. One day, a young couple with a baby came seeking a house to rent in Sheun's compound. They looked humble and harmless, so Sheun and Judith welcomed them warmly, thinking they had found good tenants to occupy their space. But unknown to the world, the tenant and his wife were occultic and diabolical. The man had sold his soul to darkness, and because his destiny was weak, he survived by stealing the glory and stars of innocent people. His wife was a witch, cunning and wicked. Only their newborn was innocent. Soon after they moved in to Sheun's compound, things began to change. Suddenly, Sheun's booming business began to collapse. Contracts collapsed, contracts failed, and money dried up. The trouble arose from nowhere. Every day was a different challenge. Meanwhile, the tenant, who once looked poor and dejected, suddenly began building, buying new things, and growing fat like someone who had never tasted suffering. Sheun's wife, Judith, observed quietly. She didn't complain. She didn't panic. Instead, she prayed fervently. One night, she knelt and cried, "Oh Lord, expose any darkness pretending to be light around us." The next day, something shocking happened. The tenant's wife, whose name was Jezebel, approached Sheun at the backyard. Without shame, she lifted her pregnant belly and exposed it to him while chanting strange words. Hapisa kapia, hapisa kapia, hapisa kapia. Startled, Sheun fled across the compound, almost tripping and falling, and nearly avoided wounding himself. While he told his wife Judith, she knew it was no ordinary behavior. An elderly neighbor, Mama Ifoma, heard the story and warned Judith severely. "My daughter, chase them away. Get rid of them before they drag you into temptation and destruction." Judith agreed. That same evening, Sheun confronted the tenants calmly and said, "My son is returning from abroad. We need the house. Please prepare to leave, as I will not be renewing your tenancy." The wicked couple pretended to agree. They packed their bags and belongings, but they did not leave. At midnight, as the neighborhood slept, darkness gathered. The wicked tenants summoned the spirits and animal servants. And suddenly, strange animals crawled on Sheun's roof all over the building. Invisible forces rattled the gate, shaking it violently, and a giant rat scratched the walls at 3 a.m. Judith woke up and began to pray fervently. Her voice thundered through the house. The giant rat found a way to squeeze through the kitchen window. At that moment, Sheung grabbed a rod and charged. No more! With holy rage, he struck the rat across the waist. And then the rat screamed, a human-like scream. At that same moment, Jezebel, the tenant's wife, screamed from her room, "Ah! My waist! Ah! My waist! Ah! My waist!" Sheol struck again and cut off the rat's tail. The creature fled, bleeding, and Jezebel continued screaming, "Help me! Help me! Help! Help! Oh!" That was the night their secret was exposed. Angry and afraid, the wicked tenants sent more spirits and animals the next night to attack. This time, the owls hovered, the cats howled, and creatures scratched the roof. But something unusual happened. From the drainage, from the trees, and from the gutters, frogs began to hop and appear, hop and appear. Not ordinary frogs, they were warriors sent by God. The frogs gathered around the compound and waited. When the evil spirits approached, the frogs attacked without fear. They leaped into battle, swallowing the spirits, fighting the snakes, chasing the shadows away, and croaking like an army of angels. The heavens backed them. By sunrise, the spirits were defeated. The compound was calm, and silence returned. Realizing they had failed and could die for being exposed, the wicked couple fled the next week with haste. They entered a new compound, far away, but their powers no longer worked. Judith prayed, "From today you will not use any glory, destiny, or blessing that does not belong to you. You will only live by what God has destined for you." From that day, the couple changed. The man who was shine became dark, thin, and wretched. The woman who was acted proud became ugly, weak, and miserable. People stared in awe and whispered, "What happened to them?" They looked like their souls were drained. Their glory vanished, their charm disappeared, and their wicked craft failed. After the wicked tenants fled, peace returned to the compound. But something unusual lingered. Every night at exactly 9 p.m., a small group of frogs gathered at the entrance of Sheun's house, lined up like soldiers, staring into the darkness. Judith noticed it at first and beckoned on her husband, "Sheun, come and see you." The frogs don't turn to vigilantes. Sheun laughed, ha 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 ha, shaking his head. "If not frogs God send, who am I to question? Let them do the night watch." But one night, something frightening happened. A dark shadow crawled along the fence. The air felt heavy, and even the birds stopped singing. Judith, who was already in prayer, felt a chill run through her spine. Suddenly, splash! The frogs leapt forward with loud croaks. They attacked the shadow like warriors from a spiritual kingdom. Judith heard a distant scream. It was the voice of the former tenant's wife named Jezebel, crying from wherever she was. Ah, leave me! Ah, leave me! Ah, it won't kill me! The shadow dissolved like smoke, swallowed up by the frogs, as Judith whispered, Chineke, these gods are on assignment. The frogs sent by God as an assignment. From that day, nobody trespassed the compound, not even spirits, not shadows. Meanwhile, the God the Most High restored the house of Sheol. Blessings overflowed, clients called from abroad, contracts reopened, and the children even began speaking earlier than expected, greeting guests with, Good evening, oh, you're welcome. Every Sunday, Judith shared testimony to the Most High, saying, My God never disappoints. Even the frogs seemed to celebrate, clucking loudly every night as if shouting, Amen, 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 in unison. Within 3 months, their peace filled their home again as the contracts reopened, finances multiplied, and opportunities returned. And of course, every night, the frogs croaked around their compound, showing signs that they're guardians of God's victory. The moral lessons of this story are numerous. Not everyone who smiles carries light. Test all spirits. A praying woman is an asset to have. God can use the smallest creatures to fight the biggest battles. Meanwhile, in their new apartment far away, the wicked tenants were suffering. The neighbors whispered, Wetin do these people? Ah, they don't become shadow of themselves. Oh. The man who once looked fresh now looked like he spent nights fighting lions. His clothes hung on him like hanger. His wife Jezebel sat outside every evening, scratching her stomachs and grumbling. A small child passing by asked innocently, Mommy, why does that auntie look like Mommy Water that forgot her home? The mother hissed and pulled the child away. Shh! No, they talk like that near witches, she said. The couple tried to summon powers again. Candles, incantations, mirrors, nothing worked. The spirits rejected them in their world because they had been exposed. The occult leader appeared in a dream and screamed, You madman! You allowed ordinary landlord to disgrace us. Leave our compound. They begged, but the spirits spat on the ground and vanished. From that day on, they lost everything, physically and spiritually. People walked past them and murmured, This life get as e be. Person wey dey shine don turn yam. They became a cautionary tale for others to learn. And so, the wicked tenant and his wife fled, broken, disgraced from the community, and the peace of the Sheol family returned. The business revived, homes filled with laughter again, and the frogs disappeared quietly, having completed their mission. Some say the frogs were angels in disguise. Others say they were warriors sent by the Almighty to protect the Sheol family and the community at large. But one thing is certain, evil may rise, but it can never overcome a praying home. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and share so more people can enjoy these African tales. Have a good day. This is the end.